Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the stories shaping South Africa's future, from the corridors of power to the streets we all call home. Today, we're tackling a bombshell that's got the whole country on edge, a tale of courage, corruption, and the kind of threats that make you wonder who's really pulling the strings in our police force. If you've been following the news, you know we're talking about Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, the no-nonsense KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, who's become the face of a fight against the rot eating away at the South African Police Service. Security around him has been cranked up to maximum, with credible threats to his life forcing the elite SAPS VIP protection unit to lock down his home and shadow his every move. This isn't some movie plot. It's happening right now as he gears up to spill the beans before Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee, digging into his explosive claims of political meddling and outright corruption in SAPS. And get this, he just wrapped up a tense appearance before a parliamentary portfolio committee in early October, laying the groundwork for what's coming next week. Buckle up, folks. This is going to be a ride. Let's start at the beginning, because to understand the firestorm Mkhwanazi's ignited, you need the full backstory. Mkhwanazi isn't your average top cop. He's a veteran of the force, rising through the ranks in KZN, one of the province's hardest hit by crime, political violence, and everything in between. Under his watch, KZN's seen some real wins, like cracking down on taxi violence and building community trust in areas where police were once seen as the enemy. But it's his unyielding stance against interference that's made him a hero to some and a target to others. Back in July 2025, during a media briefing that still has jaws on the floor, Mkhwanazi dropped allegations that shook the foundations of SAPS. He accused senior police brass and politicians of shielding criminal networks, blocking investigations into high-profile cases, and letting corruption fester like an open wound. We're talking about billions in dodgy procurement deals, where tenders for vehicles, weapons, and tech get handed out not to the best bidders, but to the best-connected mates. He pointed fingers at attempts to derail probes into political killings. Yes, those assassinations that have plagued KZN politics for years, and even claimed that loyalists were being parachuted into key posts to twist the arm of justice. And it's not just vague whispers. Mkhwanazi's gone on record about specific heavy hitters. He called out former police minister Nathi Mthethwa for what he described as the worst political interference during his tenure, pressuring him to drop charges against connected figures and meddle in sensitive dockets. Under the current minister, Senzo Mchunu, things haven't improved much, according to Mkhwanazi. He's spoken about orders to shut down the Political Killings Task Team, a unit he helped build to tackle those brazen hits on activists and rivals. In his recent testimony before the Madlenga Commission just days ago, wrapping up on October 2nd after 3 grueling days, he warned that without action, the entire criminal justice system could collapse. "We're paralyzed," he said, painting a picture of a force where fear of reprisal keeps good cops silent and lets the bad ones thrive. He even looped in the Zondo Commission from years back, revealing how he briefed them on Mthethwa's antics and how then-President Zuma stayed mum, leaving him out in the cold. It's brave stuff, but bravery like this comes at a cost, and that's where the threats come in. Fast forward to now, and the heat's turned up. Since that July bombshell, Mkhwanazi's been inundated with what the national SAPS leadership calls credible threats to his life. Phone calls in the dead of night, shadowy warnings, the works. National Commissioner Fanny Masemola confirmed it himself back in July, assuring the public that Mkhwanazi wouldn't face persecution for speaking out, but actions speak louder. That's why the VIP Protection Unit, those are the elite shadows who guard presidents, ministers, and foreign dignitaries, has been deployed 24/7. His Durban home is now a fortress with patrols, surveillance, and restricted access, and even his daily commutes are under armed escort. Officials are tight-lipped on the details to avoid tipping off the bad guys, but sources close to the matter say the threats have escalated just as the Ad Hoc Committee's hearings loom. Why now? Because Mkhwanazi's not just whispering anymore. He's about to testify under oath, and powerful folks might be sweating bullets. Speaking of that Ad Hoc Committee, let's break it down. Established by the National Assembly on July 23 under Rule 253, this isn't your run-of-the-mill parliamentary chit-chat. It's a special probe, laser-focused on Mkhwanazi's claims, with a mandate to hear witnesses, gather evidence, and recommend fixes, or prosecutions. Chaired by Malapi Soviet Lekanyane of the ANC, the committee's been grinding through prep since August, electing members and hashing out terms of reference. Parties across the aisle, ANC, DA, EFF, you name it, agreed early on that Mkhwanazi should lead off the witness list, testifying first on Tuesday, October 7th, right here in Cape Town's parliament. After him, expect heavyweights like Masemola to take the hot seat later that week. But it's not all smooth sailing. Delays hit last week over late document submissions, and EFF leader Julius Malima's been firing shots, warning the committee not to sideline public voices or turn it into an abuse of power. He's called for full transparency, and fair enough. Public submissions are open till October 17th via email to adhocwanazi@parliament.gov.za. If you've got intel on this mess, now's your chance to weigh in. This all ties back to Mkhwanazi's early October stint before the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee, where he gave a sneak peek of what's to come. That was no casual chat. It was a preliminary airing, touching on the same themes of interference and how it's crippling SAPS from the top down. He reiterated how political pressure has stalled cases against big fish in construction mafias, tender fraud, and even state capture echoes from the Zondo era. The South African Human Rights Commission jumped in back in July, demanding a full commission of inquiry after his initial claims, highlighting how these allegations threaten human rights and public safety. And the DA? They're pushing hard for a transparent report naming names, timelines, and evidence. None of this behind-closed-doors nonsense. Now, let's zoom out and talk implications, because this isn't just about one general and his beef with the bosses. SAPS is the backbone of our democracy, the thin blue line between chaos and order in a country where crime stats make headlines weekly. If Mkhwanazi's right, and corruption's woven into the fabric, every arrest, every raid, every promise of safety starts looking suspect. We're talking a justice system on life support, where politicians treat the police like their personal hit squad, and whistleblowers end up in body bags. Remember the apartheid days? When the force was a weapon of the state? Well, echoes of that politicization are back, louder than ever, and it's eroding trust faster than you can say state capture 2.0. On the flip side, the government's response so far is promising. Setting up this committee shows they're listening, at least on paper. Masemola's public backing of Mkhwanazi is a good sign, and with opposition parties baying for blood, there's pressure for real accountability. But here's the million-rand question. Will this lead to change or just another report gathering dust? We've seen it before, the arms deal, then Kamla saga, Zondo's mountain of findings that moved molehills. Critics fear it's a controlled burn, letting Mkhwanazi vent while protecting the untouchables. Optimists, though, see a turning point. If his testimony sparks arrests, reforms, and a purge of the corrupt, it could rebuild faith in SAPS. Imagine a police service that's merit-based, interference-free, actually serving communities from Joburg townships to rural Eastern Cape outposts. Mkhwanazi himself has called for that, a total overhaul to prevent collapse. And with public eyes glued, thanks to live streams and media scrums, the committee can't afford slip-ups. As we wrap this up, one thing's clear. Mkhwanazi's standing tall in a storm that's testing South Africa's soul. His story reminds us that real power isn't in boardrooms or ballot boxes. It's in the guts it takes to call out the crooks, threats be damned. What's your take? Do you think this ad hoc probe will finally clean house in SAPS, or is it too little too late? Who do you reckon is behind those death threats, the politicians he named or deeper syndicate shadows? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going, respectful and real, because voices like yours are what drive change. If this breakdown fired you up or shed light on the shadows, smash that like button, subscribe for more unfiltered takes on SA politics, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Your support keeps us digging where it matters. Thanks for tuning in, stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time.